Yes, we can.
Okay. So for today, our take home is going to be introduction to what UI UX is all about, the elocution of user expectation, core principles of effective UI UX in the age of AI. So this is more like our main topic for today. Then designing with empathy. Then we now have question and answer section before we call it a day. Let's take a look at what UI UX is all about. So what's UI and what's UX? In a layman understanding, UI is user interface design. So more like UI is basically with what you see generally in designs, like physical appearance of an application, be it mobile application or web application. Then US is user experience. So experience focus more on what the user feel when it's the application, how easy or how difficult it is for user to navigate in an application. I believe you all can hear me clearly. Please, you can hear me clearly.
Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So let's look at why it matters in today's digital world. So UI matters in today's digital world because in today's world, it's all about technology. We are designing to solve users' problem, and for you to be able to solve this users' problem, you have to accept the fact that you are designing for your users. You're not going to use this alone by yourself. You are going to consider the fact that the users you are designing for, they have different experiences. So for you to be able to get what the users want, you have to consider different users and their experiences when using a particular product or using a particular application. So therefore, for this to be very effective, you have to go deep into your user research for you to be able to get your users' pain points and where is for you to know where to focus on when solving this user's problem. That's why we said in today's digital world. So therefore, it's more like you are designing to solve a problem. You're not just designing for beauty's sake. So you focus more on solving these problems for your users. So we have real world examples whereby we have good UI and bad, good UI and US and bad UI. Yes, in as much as we have UI that are fine, there are also UI that are very bad that you can't even look at it. But then you also have bad US and good US. So when we talk about US, more like user experience, like I said before. So an ability of a user to navigate through an app seamlessly without having any difficulties, an ability of a user to see features easily in an application counts as a good US. Or an ability of the app to find difficulty. Imagine I'm trying to close up my page, my web page. I'm looking for where the icon for close is. I'm finding it difficult to locate where my close button is. So it's more like a bad US for me. And I want to create an account. I'm finding it difficult to see where I can see the option for me to sign up in this particular application or website. So it's more like a bad US for me. So for me to be able to create an account, I have to go and ask, please, you know where I can see this sign up flow for this application. I have to ask one or two persons. It's not good. So you're supposed to, as much as you're designing, supposed to make it easy for your users. Like when I come to your application, I'll be able to see that this guy can be able to take me through for me to be able to use that particular application without having much difficulties in it. So it's more like you considering your users. So we also said that UI and US, they work hand in hand. This is because even if you have good UI, like I said before, and don't have a good US, it's more like the whole thing you did is not good. And if you have good US and you don't have a good UI, it also shows that what you did is not good. So for you to have a very good design, that is favorable in today's digital world, you are going to have a good UI and a good UX also. So let's take a look at how it's so let's look at the evolution of the user experience in today's world. So demand for seamless omnichannel experiences. So now when we talk about omnichannel experiences, we know that we have many different devices. So this is where we talk about desktop, that's your laptop, we have tablets, and we have mobile phone, which is the most commonly used device. So now when you are designing, you have to make sure that you consider the fact that they are main devices that people use to access your work. So you have to make it responsive to all devices. So you're not just designing for desktop alone. So what if I want to access what you did with my phone? How will I be able to do that? So that's why that's why we said that you have to make it seamless omnichannel experience for the users. So you have to consider the fact that some people can use their laptop to access what you're working on. Some people can use their tablets. Some people can use their mobile phone. So when working, you channel it down to ensure that it's responsive to all these devices. Then the next one says zero learning curve interfaces. User abandon app that requires much effort. Yeah, I've already explained this. If I'm coming to use your application and I notice that it's stressing me, the whole flow is very stressful to a user. Me as a user, I'm going to abandon it and look for an alternative. And in today's digital world, we have a lot of alternative here, but just like in social media, say for instance, I'm coming to Facebook to use Facebook and I'm not understanding what Facebook is doing, I can easily switch to Twitter. I'm not going to kill myself on Facebook. So that's why it's good. If you are working on it, you make sure that the curve, the interface, everything about it is very easy and seamless for the user, so that the user will not leave the application for you. Remember that, like I said, you are not designing for yourself, you are designing for your users. So your users, they are your priority. So you put them in your mind when designing. Then the next one is accessibility standard. So when we talk about accessibility standard, we're talking about designing for everybody, in the sense that whatsoever you are designing should be accessible to all, even those that have visual impairments. So this works more when it comes to you choosing the colors that you're going to use. You ensure that the colors that you're going to use, they are not too shouty, they are not dull, that you ensure that the text that you're going to use also in the designs, they are clear enough, they are visible enough, they are not too small and they are not over large. So you have to make it in such a way that it is accessible to everybody. And the next one is micro interactions. So this is where you talk about animations, feedback loops. So when incorporating animation in your design, you make sure that your animations, they are not too heavy. They are not too heavy because imagine the way mostly our network is these days, and you have a very heavy animation imputed in your design. It's not even load. So the user will not be able to see that beautiful interaction that you added there. So even as much as you're adding interactions to your designs, you try as much as possible to make sure that they are light and it can easily load, so that that feel and that design you are trying to showcase to your user. Maybe mostly sometimes you use animations to showcase how the app or website is supposed to flow. So you make sure that it's very light, so that user will be able to see what you did, so that your animation or whatever you're putting design will not end up being a waste. And make it as minimal as possible, because they say that less is more. So you're expected to make it as minimal as possible, so that it won't be like somebody is watching a video like in your application, just very less, and you present and pitch out whatsoever idea you want to pitch using your animation. So let's look at the core principles of effective UI UX. Usability, clarity, consistency, and feedback. So I have already touched this, but we are still going to take it one after the other. So usability. So your design, whatsoever you did, should be very good in such a way that its usability is something people can easily use. It's not difficult for people to use. Like, it's something people can easily navigate on their own, and it should be clear enough. That's why we talk about clarity. It should be clear. Like, I shouldn't come and be looking for where to close up the application. Let me just say where to sign out or log out from the application. You shouldn't be hidden. Like, it's something that should be clear enough for users to easily see. Then there should be consistency. Consistency in the sense that the icons you are using, the buttons you are working with, the color you are using, the text, the fonts you are using in the application, there should be some level of consistency in your work. So you cannot just come and pick random colors and start working with. When working in any project, or when you say you're working for a brand, you make use of their brand color and you maintain it so that you're consistent. There was some level of consistency in your work. You can't come and be choosing colors of points. So the same goes with fonts. When working on a project, you make use of fonts, one or two fonts. You make sure that you're consistent with the font. You can't come and be using any random fonts that your hand picks, use it in the application. No. So you have to be consistent. So you choose, okay, this is a fintech application. I'll be using Monstrat for it. Then you maintain Monstrat throughout it. Then also the feedback. So the feedback is more like what you get from your users. So because you know that when it comes to design, the basic design principle, after doing everything, there should be feedback from your users for you to know if what you did actually solves your users' problem. So if what you did not solve your users' problem, you see it from their feedback. If what you did actually solves your user problem, you also see it from their feedback. So in this feedback is where you get to know how to make amendments or adjustments in what you did. Then from there, you'll be able to get to know more on what to work on or what to correct in your application or on the project you are working on. So now let's look at the main topic for today, which says UI/UX in the age of AI. So notice that everything now is revolving around AI. UI/UX is not an exception to it. So because you notice we have AI powered tools, it's easy for us now. More like we have Figma AI, Adobe Firefly. We have a lot of them. Even Google AI too. Even there's this new one Google brought out a few days ago. It's called Google Stitch. So this Google Stitch just more like build UI/UX design for you. So but now how do you use this AI when it comes to design? This AI are just there to help you to do your work. They are not there to take over your work from you. So you can just make this use of this AI to generate content, maybe content for your work. You can use it to generate images. You can use it to make your work easy and fast. So you are not totally expected to rely on this AI when making use of them. You're expected to incorporate it to your own personal knowledge, and from there, make your work advance. And it makes work faster for you. Then also we have generative AI that's creating assets, copy and layout. ChatGPT, okay, now so you can use ChatGPT for users flow, Midjourney for visuals, etc. So like I said, there are many of them. There are many of them that you can use for your user flow. You can use for images. Even ChatGPT now gives images, but mostly uses Midjourney for images. But a lot of them now give you images that you can use to make the work easy for you. Instead of you to go and start stressing yourself looking for an image. Let me take, for instance, you are working on a project that requires you to use an image of a lady that is pressing laptop. Instead of you going to look for an image of an African lady pressing laptop, you can easily type in your prompt in ChatGPT and it will give you exactly what you want, or visuals. It can give you exactly what you want. So that's where AI makes the work of UI/UX easy for you. Remember that you are using this AI to advance your work. You're not allowing it to take over like entirely. You're not relying on it entirely. You are just using it to advance what you have and to make the work very fast. So you are not supposed to go and copy and paste. Even if you are to get things from AI, we are expected to modify it to a reasonable extent so that it will suit very well to what you are working on. So you're not expected to just go there and copy and paste without going through what you are doing. So like I said, it's just to make the work seamless and easy for you as a UI/UX designer. Then let's look at designing with empathy. So now this is where you need to understand what your user research is all about. So before starting on a project, you are expected to conduct a user research, and this user research can come in two ways. We have qualitative research and quantitative research. So whichever way you choose to adopt when doing your user research, is good. The most important thing is that you get to know the pain points of your users. You get to understand your users and what their pain points is all about. You get to know that this is actually what you are doing. This is actually what you are working on. This is actually your target audience, and you're trying to solve this particular problem for your target audience. You're not just designing there. That's why user research are very important, because you are trying to understand the audience you are working for and how they make use of the application, or depending on what you're working on. If it's a new existing application, you can ask them questions and know where to solve their problems. But if you feel like the applications that there is something that have already been existing, you can just ask questions also to know where to improve on it. So now, for your questions, for your research, you'll be able to get your user personas. User personas are created from your research, whereby it's more like your target audience. You're able to get your target audience pain points, what their life is all about, like kind of their bio and what you are solving for them. Then the user journey map. So this is more like the experiences your user have when using their application. So the next one, let's look at, okay. So this place we've taken interactive question and answer. So if you have any questions, you can ask why I answer. Then and it's more like what frustrates you in your daily use of application. Like any question, I'll answer. Do we have any question? Okay.
That's a beautiful one. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you for the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I think there is no question.
So
is someone saying something?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can go ahead.
Okay. So thank you for the presentation. It's a beautiful one and short and straight to the point. Thank you. So I don't know if anyone has question, because it's just internal members, in-house team that are here. So, but myself, I just have one question, and so what's okay? Let me give you an example. As a UI UX designer,
okay,
what would you advise in place of? I know there are primary colors, there are secondary colors, and there are tertiary. So, in terms of design, do you? Because I'm saying this because of the smart Medicare interface I saw some days ago. So would you advise like bold color? Let's say, for example, bold color like dark navy blue and light color like white. So do you advise bold on white or what? Sorry, bold on light or light on bold?
Like I said,
I don't know if you get that.
I think I do. So you said they have primary color, secondary and tertiary in the project.
Yes. So basically, the focus on just the issue of using bold. So which do you think is best? Using bold letters, that is bold colors on light background, or using light colors on bold background?
Okay, when I started this project, I talked about let me see where it is. I talked about accessibility standard. So if you are having issues trying to balance color, we have this contrast checker that can help you to balance your color. So instead of you trying to imagine it out from your head, just like the way you're asking me with this fit and fit, it might be looking good in your eyes, whereas it's not accessible to someone that has visual impairment. So instead of you to start making the guess, you can make use of your contrast checker. Let me open to contrast checker. You can just go to your application, type this web aim. So this can help you to assess the color. You can see, you see this place here now. So once it passes, I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so once this is your background color, this is your foreground color.
Yes.
So once you put it and you balance to, it's okay and effective for everybody to use, not just you. or not just anybody that is working on the project. So, but it's effective for everybody to see, including people that have visual impairments in one way or the other. So this will show you that this color is okay and is good to go with. So it's not just something you just come up and start deliberating. Is it? Am I going to balance bold and light, kind of?
All right. Thank you. Yeah. That is it.
Okay, I believe that answers your question. Okay, any other question? Okay, in absence of any other questions, I have resources I can recommend for people that want to further in their UI/UX career, maybe in one way or the other. You feel like you still want to advance the course, or maybe you want to learn. So you can either reach out to me personally, or you can also check out your AI. These are things AI also help you for. You can also check out your AI in books that you can be reading to be advancing your knowledge in UI/UX. For example, you can go for AI. You can go it's a book written by Jordan Singer, AI for UI for US. AI for US. That's the name of the book. Then the tools mostly we use for design is Figma, although there are others like Adobe XD. And also, if you also want to go far more into your career in UI/UX, you can join us on UIT to learn more on UI/UX. UIT is Unicorn Institute Technology. Then you can reach out to us. You can reach out to the host. He will give you guide on how to join. And then also, you can contact us using our LinkedIn handle, Instagram, Twitter, or email. Then, if you want to come to our physical office, you can also locate us at Lanish Motors, 3rd floor, Mabushi, Abuja. Thank you. So that's all. Thank you very much for joining.